Ever wonder why some group trips feel effortless, like everything just flows, and others are pure chaos? The secret? They're planned like a retreat. Welcome back to Bucket List Retreats, the podcast. I'm your hostess, Kelly Morgan Murley. Is it host or hostess? I'm never quite sure. But hey, I'm your hostess, Kelly Morgan Murley. And once again, I am so glad you have joined us here today. We are going to talk about retreating like a pro. And what that really means is how you can do any trip and add some of the elements that retreat pros add to their retreats to give your trip that professional retreat feel. I have been wanting to do this because so many of you have been asking what actually goes into a retreat, how it's structured, what makes it work, and how you can use that same approach when you're planning your trips and events. A girls' getaway, a family reunion, company retreat. There's a way to make it feel intentional, elevated, and totally stress-free. It has been such a busy week planning our next getaway. We are going to check out a retreat center in the Dominican Republic. I cannot wait to share it with all of you. But of course, just like in last week's episode, we were talking about how the best laid plans can fall flat on their face. Like the moment we plan this retreat, of course, I'm sure you all heard that Hurricane Melissa came to town and she wreaked havoc on that part of the world. And thankfully, the retreat center that we are going to sounds like they're going to be all right, but we will be letting you know. But like in last week's episode, we were just talking about that. You never know what can go wrong with the travel, with the retreat center, with the attendees, with your assistants. But speaking of things that went wrong, that episode last week was flagged on Spotify for a copyright and they took it off the air. I'm sorry if any of you went to Spotify to listen to that. YouTube was fine with it. So what it is the beautiful song that I have at the end of our podcast is Silver Lining by Shannon Hurley. And I fell in love with this song so many years ago. And if you look at it on YouTube, you will see me on the comments telling Shannon how much I love the song and if I could have permission to use it. And she did grant permission. So I did go on to her link to purchase it, and I purchased the song, and it's what I use at the end of the podcast. Now, all of my YouTube videos have that on there. YouTube does say it is copyrighted, but the author has allowed use on YouTube, so I never have a strike against the channel. Spotify has never caught it before, but all of a sudden they did. So I am working with Spotify to try and get that fixed, but if not, I will have to take off her song on Spotify, which is so sad because I love that song so much, and I will put a link in the show notes in case you would like to get a copy. It is so beautiful and lends itself perfectly to retreats. Thank you, Shannon. This week, of course, is the full beaver moon. It is a super moon this year. And it seems like it's a super moon a lot, but I'm probably just reading something into it. The beaver means something special to me. That is my spirit animal. The story behind how I found out the beaver is my spirit animal is so funny. And people always ask, how do you know the beaver is your spirit animal? And, okay, I grabbed the book because we read this book in book club. It's called The Power of Receiving by Amanda Owen. And turned out that Amanda Owen was coming to Scottsdale, Arizona, and she was offering I think it was an 8-week course on the power of receiving. So several of the girls that I went to book club with grabbed our husbands and we all signed up for the course. And in the course, you learn about the power of receiving and how it completes the circle of giving and receiving. So often, a lot of us do love to give. We give with our full hearts, but sometimes it is not received with a full heart. And a lot of people are not brought up to receive, to take things from people. They would rather give. I do know that in the United States, we do have a problem with receiving a lot of times. And I have a really good story about that. My husband and I, we worked for the same company, and our new boss took us to Chicago on a company trip. And it was the first time we had ever been invited on such a luxurious trip. We had a beautiful room at the Fairmont in downtown Chicago. I think it was downtown. Correct me if I'm wrong in the notes. But it was absolutely gorgeous and it was just so nice. And every night they took us to dinner on the town. He had connections, and so did another person that was with us, to some of these really fancy restaurants. I would have to look up their name. I don't even know if they would appreciate me name dropping, because it's not that type of restaurant. All of them were very exclusive, and the meals were impeccable. The wines, the steaks, everything was magnificent. Well, my husband and I had never been on the receiving end of that type of a situation where we got to stay in luxury, eat in luxury. And the next night, our boss wanted to take everyone to the baseball game. Well, my husband and I are not into sports, and we felt bad making him purchase these tickets for us to go when we weren't even into sports. And so we said, hey, go ahead. Don't worry about us. We'll just find something else to do around Chicago. There's a million things to do. And you guys go ahead and go and enjoy this. Well, he was offended. And just to make matters worse, it was the night that Sammy Sosa, one of the greatest baseball stars of all time, hit like his most home runs ever or something. You'll have to look it up. But it was that night that we didn't go. So we learned our lesson because you could tell the next day that our boss was not happy with us. And we just felt so bad. Like we thought we were doing the kind gesture of not having him incur the cost, but it was what he wanted to do. So we stopped that circle of giving and receiving. And let me tell you, we learned a valuable lesson that day.
Hey, producer Poppy here. Kelly left us hanging on that spirit animal story, so I made her go back and record the rest. You're welcome.
Hi, friends. Hey, I'm just realizing that I forgot to finish the story about how I found my spirit animal. I was talking about it on the podcast today, about how it's the full beaver moon. And when I did a class with the author of The Power of Receiving, Amanda Owen, she walked us through this imaginary party that you would throw for yourself. So you would invite the most important people in the world to you, to this party, to receive your most amazing guest. And at the end of the party, when everybody is there, you would walk over to a door and open the door, and out would walk your most amazing guest. And mine, I thought it was an otter. And I had a few girlfriends in the class, and they're all like, yeah, you're bubbly, you're kind of happy. And I can kind of understand an otter. And I'm like, I don't, like, an otter just didn't resonate. And Amanda Owen said, why don't you go home and Google it? So I went home and typed in otter, and all of a sudden a beaver popped up, and I go, oh, it just hit me immediately. I'm like, oh, it was a beaver. And the more I have learned about the beaver spirit animal, about how hard of a worker he is and how he initiates growth, it seemed to really resonate. So I have taken on the beaver as my spirit animal, and he pops up in life all the time. It just cracks me up. But that is the end of that story. Check out the book. I'll put the link in the description below. Not sponsored.
Back to the podcast.
So I had just grabbed the book to talk about it here, and I saw the bookmark that we had in the book that she gave us that I remember, and I thought I would share. It has top 10 features of skilled receivers. They know how to accept a compliment graciously and are genuinely pleased to receive it. Number 2, they regularly express gratitude. Number 3, their attention is on the present rather than dwelling on the past or fretting about the future. Number 4, they are good listeners. Number 5, they are observant. Number 6, they define a good person as a whole person rather than as someone who places other people's needs above their own. Number 7, they do not enable people. How many of us moms enable people? Or I shouldn't put myself in that group because my girls probably don't feel like I enable them enough. Okay. Number 8, they know when to cease activity and ask for guidance. That's a big one. Number 9, they utilize data in the environment to help them make decisions. So they find out what the facts are and base all of their decisions around the facts. Number 10, they don't complain. And I remember part of the exercise of this 8 weeks was to stop complaining. Huge for my husband and I. Really hard to stop complaining. We just felt like we had so much to complain about. And it wasn't about our lives. It was just about work and running our businesses and dealing with government agencies and all of the things of running a family. And it was enlightening to stop complaining for 8 weeks. Is that something you could do? Hit that like button if you think you can do that. Let's move on now to retreat news and reviews. And just like in last week's episode, I am combining the two because the news leads to their retreat, and we are going to explore their retreat as well. All right, this news comes out of Tenerife, Canary Islands. Today, through Globe Newswire, Bliss Yoga Retreats, the award-winning European wellness company based in South Tenerife and Ibiza, has been recognized as one of the top yoga retreats in Europe for 2025. Celebrated for its inclusive philosophy, breathtaking Canary Islands, and Mediterranean settings, and consistently sold-out yoga holidays, Bliss Yoga Retreats continues to set new standards for transformational wellness retreats and holistic wellness escapes across Europe. Since its founding in 2020, Bliss Yoga Retreats has rapidly grown into one of Europe's most sought-after wellness destinations. The company hosts 12 fully booked 7-day yoga holidays each winter in sunny South Tenerife. Whew, that sounds so beautiful to me. Each all-inclusive yoga retreat combines professional instruction from certified yoga teachers, mindful adventure excursions, and authentic communication connection in stunning oceanfront settings. The company is expanding to the United Kingdom in 2025 with its first UK-based yoga retreat franchise. So they are offering franchises. This brings its accessible wellness model to a broader audience seeking stress relief and mental health support. It says, our mission is simple. Make the blissful experience of a yoga vacation accessible to everyone, said Dominique Brooke, Managing Director of Bliss Yoga Retreats. Wellness should be inclusive, enjoyable, and social, not restrictive or elitist. Whether you're a complete beginner or an experienced practitioner, traveling solo or with friends, our retreats welcome all levels and all backgrounds. Freedom, fun, friendship, and adventure. Every Bliss Yoga retreat follows 4 core principles that define its unique approach to wellness tourism. Freedom, fun, friendship, and adventure. So I just had to click on their retreat center. I want to thank them for having their website and colors right on brand. It looks like a beautiful website, and front and center, they talk about their retreats. And so I clicked on that because I'm absolutely interested on what retreats they're offering. And one of the first one I see, the first one they have is November, one in November and one in April. It is 999 euros, which sounds super affordable. So we'll check it out. But I was drawn to this Christmas retreat because I was just thinking how awesome it would be to go on a Christmas retreat. A lot of people don't have others to hang with at Christmas time. So I think it would be such a fun experience. And I thought about seeing as many as I could find to share with all of you. So I was just tickled when I pulled this up and I saw that they are offering a Christmas retreat. So let's go ahead and click on it. Oops, let's just go back because it said how much it was. What was that? Oh, okay. It's 1649 euro, and I calculated that to be just under 1900 USD. And it is December, was it 21st? Okay, we're going to get to that. I'm trying to jump ahead. But the page for the retreat looks so beautiful. It is a Christmas setting, of course. It says Tenerife Christmas Yoga Retreat. Spend Christmas in the Canaries. Oh, yes, please. And it has a book here button, which I think is great because if someone is really interested in it and they just want a book, they don't need to go through all of the things. But of course, we want to go through all of the things. Come and join us for a Christmas retreat in the Canaries, our special Tenerife Christmas yoga retreat. We invite you to this special Tenerife winter yoga retreat at Christmas time in the Canaries. It's the perfect way to celebrate this time of year with a new yoga family and replace the usual lethargy and gluttony with energizing yoga classes in the sun and healthy, nutritious food. I love the whole idea of that. Our Christmas yoga retreat includes our daily yoga classes, island excursions, and delicious food, as well as special Christmas Day picnic on the beach. Evening board games and presents under the tree for everyone. So it sounds like a beautiful Christmas that we would all enjoy, doesn't it? Included on our Christmas retreat, 5 nights accommodation in Villa Pranayama, morning and evening yoga classes, free island adventures, meals and drinks included, a Christmas Day beach picnic, Christmas presents and games, an airport packed lunch. I don't know if I've ever heard of anyone that offers an airport packed lunch. And there's probably a reason. Maybe you need it. There's maybe it's a bit of a ride to the airport. Maybe they don't have a good lunch once you get there. So I love that they're taking care of you. That's really awesome. And the price seems really nice as well. So of course, we will leave a link in the show notes so you can check out the story about them winning this award and a link to their website so you can check out their retreats. Oh, what I forgot to mention is their business coaching. So they have coaching packages for coaches that want to offer retreats, but they also offer a free retreat guide, which sounds like something I think everyone who is interested in having retreats can't get enough information. So if they are offering this free business guide, I would grab it. They also offer franchises. So if you are a yogi or someone that has been trained in yoga and you want to start a franchise that has great name recognition, you might want to check out Bliss Yoga Retreats. I'm not saying franchises are always a really good idea, but sometimes they are. What I like suggesting with franchises is if you do get into it, maybe get into it with the idea of reselling it within a few years and making a profit off of it. Just make sure the terms are always in your favor. I hope you all enjoyed the retreat news and reviews. I'm sorry I'm mashing it all together, but it seems like that just seems to happen once you hear about retreat news. It leads to a retreat. And I just think that retreat at Christmas time in Ibiza sounds so interesting. Number one, I've always wanted to go to Ibiza. Number two, a Christmas time retreat where I don't have to do anything but retreat, fill up my soul with the beautiful location, wonderful food, and yoga twice daily. Yes, please. Merry Christmas. And a lot of the things that they are doing on that retreat are things that retreating like a pro does on retreat, is that it leads perfectly into our topic about retreating like a pro and how you can add that to your own trips and events. So what does it really mean to retreat like a pro? It's not about being perfect or running a huge event. It's about intention. Professionals know the goal before they ever pick the date or the location. They think about the transformation, the flow, and the connection. And that is what is different about a retreat than a trip. It actually has a purpose. Let's walk through a few of the tips that I have when planning a retreat. And you can absolutely apply these to any of your trips or events. Choosing the vibe or the theme first. For many, many years, I played bunco with my girlfriends that we ended up traveling together. So bunco was once a month and they were held at each of our houses. You picked the theme of what your bunco was about. And you would send out the invitation that really set the whole intention of the evening. It was so much fun, but it carried over into trips. This same group of girls wanted to go on trips together. And when we would go on trips, we would put a theme to the trip. For example, one of the places that we went to was Santa Fe. And I think this is such a great example of planning a transformation around a location. Now, we didn't really realize that Santa Fe was going to be so perfect for us. But one of the things that we did there is we went river rafting on the Rio Grande. It was quite the experience and really pushed all of us to transform and do something that we never would have done alone. Each of us had said, if it hadn't have been for you girls being with me on this trip, I wouldn't have got in that river raft. But we had the best time ever. There were parts of the river that were real slow and we could jump out of the boat and swim along, in the river with the boat. And we're like, we never would have done that all alone. If we had come to the Rio Grande, would we have actually jumped in the river and swam along? It was so much fun. And it really transformed what we would do together. We thought, this is great. We'll always be able to travel together and do these exciting things. And we had so much fun the rest of the trip. Of course, we had wore our hats and our cowboy boots and put a Western theme on the whole trip. It just made for so many core moments together that we had. It really elevated the trip. And of course, staying at a magnificent mansion, which is something you can do when you're in a group and you all share the costs. Another tip that pros do is keeping the lines of communication open. So even if you are the retreat leader, you've made all the plans, the moment that you have someone sign up for the trip, you contact them, you include them in the group on Facebook, you let them know what's going on, you ask them all about why they're coming on the trip, and let people feel included. You don't want anyone in the group to feel like they're not part of the group. So if you are planning a girls' trip or even that company retreat, sitting down and talking to everyone and asking what their expectations are and what they're looking forward to doing on the trip. You want everyone to feel like they are included. I once went on a trip where there was a planning committee and they didn't let anyone know what was going on. They just said, yeah, give us $1,000 and we'll take care of all of the planning. It just didn't feel cohesive the whole entire trip. So I like to include everyone in the planning and the organizing. Isn't it true that that is half the fun of going on the trip? So keeping communication clear is really important. Retreat pros also include elevated experiences. So anything to make you feel elevated on the getaway or on the retreat really brings up the whole vibe of the trip and gets everybody in a really good mood. Of course, I always like to do something the absolute moment you arrive at your destination, like have a fantastic welcome dinner at sunset. Nothing can be more welcoming than that. One of the reasons that my girlfriends and I started traveling together was to go to some of these elevated places, like these really fancy hotels that we really couldn't afford alone. But when four of us put our money together, we could totally afford a room. Going and experiencing their spas or whatever it was that drew us to this location made us feel like we had really gotten somewhere. And a lot of times we would use our miles and fly in business class. In the show notes, I have a link to Daily Drop where you can learn all about miles and how they can enhance your travel. If you are splitting a room at even an expensive place and have paid for your airline with miles, it can really make world travel accessible. So that was another thing I loved about this Bliss yoga retreats that we just reviewed, is that their goal is to make retreating accessible to everyone. We all deserve a retreat. And if it's a girls' trip or choir retreat, make it feel special, make it feel elevated, and it will feel professional. Thank you so much for being here today, everyone. Be sure to check out bucketlistretreats.com. If you are interested in putting together a retreat and want some help on that, we would be happy to talk about it. Just click on contact and we will have a phone conversation all about adding retreats to what you do. Or if you want to check out the retreats we're offering right now, we would love to have you on our retreats, which a lot of times have to do about research that we are checking out a place that we want to know if it is retreat worthy. So if you come along with us on those exploration trips, a lot of times it's very cost effective, yet we still have an amazing time. Of course, it's a bucket list retreat. And be sure to check out all of the freebies sprinkled throughout the website for organizing your retreat, or you can pick up our planner to organize a retreat just for yourself. Next week, we're going to talk all about retreat method. We'll explore the system behind turning your retreat vision into a smooth and structured plan. Thank you again so much for joining us, and we will see you next week. Until then, keep retreating, keep exploring, and we'll see you on the next adventure. Bye-bye.